Okay, let's move on to division. As I said at the beginning of the webinar, we will realize in a second that division is actually done by changing the problem properly to a multiplication problem, and we will do the same steps, cancellation, and then multiply across. But before we're able to change that, or multiply, I mean, we have to change the problem properly to a multiplication problem. When we have a division for fractions, a fraction divided by a fraction, it is equivalent to multiplying the same first fraction times the reciprocal of the second fraction. A reciprocal of a fraction is the flip of the fraction. So I'm going to be able to do the division or find the quotient of this problem by rewriting this division problem as this: 5/3, keep the first fraction as is, change the sign to multiplication, but you have to use the flip of the second fraction, the reciprocal of the second fraction. Well, it was a 12/9, so it'll become a 9/12, the reverse of the fraction. Now it's a multiplication problem. If I multiply times the reciprocal, that will be equivalent to dividing over the original second fraction. So if I'm able to cancel out the factors, multiply across, I'll be able to find the quotient. Equals to, look at the numbers, what should I eliminate here? Well, I have 9 and 3, so of course I'm going to do over 3, rewrite now the multiplication problem, 5/1 times 3/12. Again, I have 3 and 12, then eliminate the 3 and eliminate the 3, rewrite the problem. So we're going to have 5/1 times 1/4. Multiply across, 5 times 1 is a 5, and then 1 times 4 is a 4. This is not in simplest form. The quotient has to be in simplest form, so this is equivalent to 1 1/4. And this is the quotient. This is the result that we get when we divide 5/3 divided by 12/9. Okay, let's do number B, the same concept. 25/60 divided by 20/5. Now, both of them are fractions. I'm going to keep the first one the same, 25/60 times, and then flip the second fraction over. That would be a 5/20. Now, one common mistake I have to point at before I proceed is that I have seen in the past that students would eliminate the 5s from the 25 and the 5 with the division sign there. This is not correct. We have to use the cancellation method after we change the problem to multiplication. So we cannot do over 5 and over 5 at this point. We cannot do that. That is not correct. We have to change the problem properly to multiplication in order to use the cancellation method. We cannot use it before that. And you see here, when we did change the question to multiplication, we cannot anymore divide over 5 and divide over 5 because both numbers now are on the top. So that will lead us to the incorrect answer. So we did switch the question to multiplication. Now we'll think about the factors. Well, I have 25 and 20 divide over 5 and divide over 5. Rewrite the problem. It's going to be 5/60 times 5/4. Okay, what else? We have 60 and 5/5 and over 5, and that will equals to 6/12 times 1/4. Now, nothing to be eliminated. We have, oh, this is a 5 actually. It's not a 6. So that is a 5 coming from here. So it's the same number, 5/12, and then times 1/4. So again, nothing is common. I'm going to go ahead and multiply across. It's going to be a 5/48. Nothing common between 5 and 48. It's a proper fraction. Nothing to be done further. This is the quotient. So again, we did find the quotient by changing the problem to a multiplication problem and also changing the second fraction to the reciprocal. So let's practice with this kind of problem. It's going to get harder but this one is the simplest kind of questions with division. 27 over 50 divided by 3 over 10. What should we do? How can we change this problem to a multiplication problem? Are we going to change that second fraction to its reciprocal or no? Write down the question and rewrite the question as multiplication, and you can go from there as we exactly did in our multiplication problems. We know how to change this problem to a multiplication problem using the reciprocal of the second fraction. What is the reciprocal of 3 over 10? Then think about the factors to eliminate from a number from the top and a number from the bottom. Since it became a multiplication problem, we would do the same steps as we did as if it is just a multiplication problem, has nothing to do with division. Okay, let's do the question together. So we're starting with two fractions division here. So I'm gonna change my question to a multiplication question. I have to do it properly. 27 over 50 times the reciprocal is 10 over 3. Look at those two numbers, eliminate 10 and 10. Rewrite the question, 27 over 5. And then times 1 over 3. Okay, again, I have 27 and 3, eliminate 3 and eliminate 3. 27 over 3 is a 9, and then we still have the 5 on the bottom. 1 over 1, and then multiply across. 9 times 1 is a 9. 5 times 1 is a 5. Put your answer in simplest form. So that would be a 5 and 4/5, and that is the quotient of dividing these two fractions. So the answer is D, 1 and 4/5.